Adha shashto udhyayah.
Dhyana Yoga, the yoga of meditation.
Sri Bhagavan Anasritah karmafalam karyam karma karoti yah. Sa samnyasi cha yogi chana niragnirna chakriyah.
The Supreme Lord said, those who perform prescribed duties without desiring the results of their actions are actual sannyasis, renunciates, and yogis, not those who have merely ceased performing sacrifices such as Agnihotra Yajna or abandoned bodily activities.
Yam samnyasamiti prahuryogam tam viddhi pandava, na hyasamnyasta sankalpo yogi bhavati kaschana.
What is known as sannyas is non-different from yoga. For none become yogis without renouncing worldly desires.
Arurukshor muneryogam karma karanamuchyate, yogarudhasya tasyaiva samaha karanamuchyate.
To the soul who is aspiring for perfection in yoga, work without attachment is said to be the means. To the sage who is already elevated in yoga, tranquility in meditation is said to be the means.
Yada hi nendriyardheshu na karmasvanushajyate, sarva sankalpa samnyasi yogarudhastadochyate.
When one is neither attached to sense objects nor to actions, such a person is said to be elevated in the science of yoga, having renounced all desires for the fruits of actions.
Uddharedatmanatmanam natmanamavasadayet, atmaiva hyatmano bandhuratmaiva ripuratmanaha.
Elevate yourself through the power of your mind, and not degrade yourself, for the mind can be the friend and also the enemy of the self.
Bandhuratmatmanastasya yenatmaivatmana jitaha, anatmanastu satrutve vartetatmaiva satruvat.
For those who have conquered the mind, it is their friend. For those who have failed to do so, the mind works like an enemy.
Jitatmanaha prasantasya paramatma samahitaha, sitoshna sukha dukkeshu tadha manapamanayoh.
The yogis who have conquered the mind rise above the dualities of cold and heat, joy and sorrow, and honor and dishonor. Such yogis remain peaceful and steadfast in their devotion to God.
Anjnana vinjnana truptatma kutastho vijitendriyaha, yukta ityuchyate yogi samaloshtasmakanchanaha.
The yogi who are satisfied by knowledge and discrimination, and have conquered their senses, remain undisturbed in all circumstances. They see everything, dirt, stones, and gold, as the same.
Suhrunmitraryudasina madhyasthadveshya bandhushu, sadhushvapi cha papeshu samabuddhirvisishyate.
The yogis look upon all well-wishers, friends, foes, the pious, and the sinners, with an impartial intellect. The yogi who is of equal intellect toward friend, companion, and foe, neutral among enemies and relatives, and unbiased between the righteous and sinful, is considered to be distinguished among humans.
Yogi yunjita satatamatmanam rahasi sthitaha, ekaki yatachittatma nirasira parigrahaha.
Those who seek the state of yoga should reside in seclusion, constantly engaged in meditation with a controlled mind and body, getting rid of desires and possessions for enjoyment.
Sucha udese pratishtapya sthiramasanamatmanaha, natyuchritam natinicham chailajinakusottaram.
To practice yoga, one should make an asana, seat, in a sanctified place, by placing kush grass, deer skin, and a cloth, one over the other. The asana should be neither too high nor too low.
Tatrkagram manah krutva yatachittendriya kriya, उपविश्यासने युञ्ज्याद्योगमात्मविशुद्धये समं कायशिरोग्रीवं धारयन्नचलं स्थिरः सम्प्रेक्ष्य नासिकाग्रं स्वं दिशश्चानवलोकयन्
Seated firmly on it, the yogi should strive to purify the mind by focusing it in meditation with one-pointed concentration, controlling all thoughts and activities. He must hold the body, neck, and head firmly in a straight line, and gaze at the tip of the nose, without allowing the eyes to wander.
प्रशान्तात्मा विगतभिर्ब्रह्मचारिव्रते स्थितः मनः संयम्य मच्चित्तो युक्त आसीत मत्परः.
Thus, with a serene, fearless, and unwavering mind, and staunch in the vow of celibacy, the vigilant yogi should meditate on me, having me alone as the supreme goal.
युञ्जन्नेवं सदात्मानं योगी नियतमानसः शान्तिं निर्वाणपरमां मत्संस्थामधिगच्छति.
Thus, constantly keeping the mind absorbed in me, the yogi of disciplined mind attains nirvana, and abides in me in supreme peace.
नात्यश्नतस्तु योगो उस्ति न चैकान्तमनश्नतः न चातिस्वप्नशीलस्य जाग्रतो नैव चार्जुन.
O Arjun, those who eat too much or too little, sleep too much or too little, cannot attain success in yoga.
युक्ताहारविहारस्य युक्तचेष्टस्य कर्मसु युक्तस्वप्नावबोधस्य योगो भवति दुःखः.
But those who are temperate in eating and recreation, balanced in work, and regulated in sleep, can mitigate all sorrows by practicing yoga.
यदा विनियतं चित्तमात्मन्येवावतिष्ठते निःस्पृहः सर्वकामेभ्यो युक्त इत्युच्यते तदा.
With thorough discipline, they learn to withdraw the mind from selfish cravings and rivet it on the unsurpassable good of self. Such persons are said to be in yoga, and are free from all yearning of the senses.
यथा दीपो निवातस्थो नेङ्गते सोपमा स्मृता योगिनो यतचित्तस्य युञ्जतो योगमात्मनः.
Just as a lamp in a windless place does not flicker, so the disciplined mind of a yogi remains steady in meditation on the Supreme.
यत्रो परमते चित्तं निरुद्धं योगसेवया यत्र चैवात्मनात्मानं पश्यन्नात्मनि तुष्यति.
When the mind, restrained from material activities, becomes still by the practice of yoga, then the yogi is able to behold the soul through the purified mind, and he rejoices in the inner joy.
सुखमात्यन्तिकं यत्तद् बुद्धिग्राह्यमतीन्द्रियं वेत्ति यत्र न चैवायं स्थितश्चलति तत्त्वतः.
In that joyous state of yoga, called samadhi, one experiences supreme boundless divine bliss, and thus situated, one never deviates from the eternal truth.
यं लब्ध्वा चापरं लाभं मन्यते नाधिकं ततः यस्मिन् स्थितो न दुःखेन गुरुणापि विचाल्यते.
Having gained that state, one does not consider any attainment to be greater. Being thus established, one is not shaken even in the midst of the greatest calamity.
तं विद्याद् दुःखसंयोगवियोगं योगसंहितं स निश्चयेन योक्तव्यो योगो निर्विण्णचेतसा.
That state of severance from union with misery is known as yoga. This yoga should be resolutely practiced with determination free from pessimism.
संकल्पप्रभवान् कामां त्यक्त्वा सर्वानशेषतः मनसैवेन्द्रियग्रामं विनियम्य समन्ततः शनैः शनैरुपरमेद् बुद्ध्या धृतिगृहीतया आत्मसंस्थं मनः कृत्वा न किञ्चिदपि चिन्तयेत्.
Completely renouncing all desires arising from thoughts of the world, One should restrain the senses from all sides with the mind. Slowly and steadily, with conviction in the intellect, the mind will become fixed in God alone, and will think of nothing else.
Yato yato nischarati manaschanchalamastiram, tatastato niyamyaitadatmanyeva vasam nayet.
Whenever and wherever the restless and unsteady mind wanders, one should bring it back and continually focus it on God.
Prasantamanasam henam yoginam sukhamuttamam, upaiti santarajasam brahmabhutamakalmasham.
Great transcendental happiness comes to the yogi whose mind is calm, whose passions are subdued, who is without sin, and who sees everything in connection with God.
Yunjannevam sadatmanam yogi vigatakalmashaha, sukhena brahmasam sparsamatyantam sukhamashnute.
The self-controlled yogi, thus uniting the self with God, becomes free from material contamination, and being in constant touch with the Supreme, achieves the highest state of perfect happiness.
Sarvabhutasthamatmanam sarvabhutani chatmani, ikshate yogayuktatma sarvatra samadarsanaha.
The true yogis, uniting their consciousness with God, see with equal eye all living beings in God and God in all living beings.
Yo mam pashyati sarvatra sarvam cha mai pashyati, tasyaham na pranasyami sacha mena pranashyati.
For those who see me everywhere and see all things in me, I am never lost, nor are they ever lost to me.
Sarvabhutastitam yo mam bhajatyekatvamasthitaha, sarvadha vartamano upi sa yogi mai vartate.
The yogi who is established in union with me, and worships me as the Supreme Soul residing in all beings, dwells only in me, though engaged in all kinds of activities.
Atma upamyena sarvatra samam pashyati yo urajuna, sukham va yadi va dukkham sa yogi paramo mataha.
I regard them to be perfect yogis who see the true equality of all living beings and respond to the joys and sorrows of others as if they were their own.
Arjuna uvacha, yo uyam yogastvaya proptaha samyena madhusudana, yetasyaham na pashyami chanchalatvat sthitim sthiram.
Arjun said, the system of yoga that you have described, O Madhusudan, appears impractical and unattainable to me, due to the restless mind.
Chanchalam hi manah krishna pramadhi balavad drudham, tasyaham nigraham manye vayoriva sudushkaram.
The mind is very restless, turbulent, strong and obstinate, O Krishna. It appears to me that it is more difficult to control than the wind.
Sri Bhagavanuvacha, asamsayam mahabaho mano durnigraham chalam, abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha gruhyate.
Lord Krishna said, O mighty armed son of Kunti, what you say is correct. The mind is indeed very difficult to restrain, but by practice and detachment, it can be controlled.
Asamyatatmana yogo dushprapa iti me mati, vasyatmana tu yatata sakyo vaptumupayataha.
Yoga is difficult to attain for one whose mind is unbridled. However, those who have learned to control the mind, and who strive earnestly by proper means, can attain perfection in yoga. This is my opinion.
Arjuna uvacha, ayati shraddhayopeto yogatchalitamanasah, aprapya yogasam siddhim kam gatim krishna gacchati.
Arjun said, what is the fate of the unsuccessful yogi who begins the path with faith, but who does not endeavor sufficiently due to an unsteady mind and is unable to reach the goal of yoga in this life?
कच्चिन्नो भयविभ्रष्टश्चिन्नाभ्रमिव नश्यति अप्रतिष्ठो महाबाहो विमूढो ब्रह्मणः पथि.
Does not such a person who deviates from yoga get deprived of both material and spiritual success? O mighty armed Krishna, and perish like a broken cloud with no position in either sphere.
एतन्मे संशयं कृष्ण चेत्तुमर्हस्य शेषतः त्वदन्यः संशयस्यास्य चेत्ता न ह्युपपद्यते.
O Krishna, please dispel this doubt of mine completely, for who other than you can do so?
श्री भगवानुवाच पार्थ नैवेह नामुत्र विनाशस्तस्य विद्यते न हि कल्याणकृत् कश्चित् दुर्गतिं तात गच्छति.
The Supreme Lord said, O Parth, one who engages on the spiritual path does not meet with destruction either in this world or the world to come. My dear friend, one who strives for God realization is never overcome by evil.
प्राप्य पुण्यकृतां लोकानुषित्वा शाश्वती समाः शुचीनां श्रीमतां गेहे योगभ्रष्टो उभिजायते अथवा योगिनामेव कुले भवति धीमताम् एतद्धि दुर्लभतरं लोके जन्म यदीदृशम्.
The unsuccessful yogis, upon death, go to the abodes of the virtuous. After dwelling there for many ages, they are again reborn in the earth plane, into a family of pious and prosperous people. Else, if they had developed dispassion due to long practice of yoga, they are born into a family endowed with divine wisdom. Such a birth is very difficult to attain in this world.
तत्र तं बुद्धिसंयोगं लभते पौर्वदेहिकं यतते च ततो भूयः संसिद्धौ कुरुनन्दन.
On taking such a birth, O descendant of Kurus, they reawaken the wisdom of their previous lives, and strive even harder toward perfection in yoga.
पूर्वाभ्यासेन तेनैव ह्रियते ह्यवशोऽपि सः जिज्ञासुरपि योगस्य शब्दब्रह्मातिवर्तते.
Indeed, they feel drawn toward God, even against their will, on the strength of their past discipline. Such seekers naturally rise above the ritualistic principles of the scriptures.
प्रयत्नाद्यतमानस्तु योगी संसिद्धकिल्बिषः अनेकजन्म संसिद्धस्ततो याति परां गतिम्.
With the accumulated merits of many past births, when these yogis engage in sincere endeavors to make further progress, they become purified from material desires and attain perfection in this life itself.
तपस्विभ्यो उद्धिको योगी अज्ञानिभ्यो उपि मतो उद्धिकः कर्मिभ्यश्चाधिको योगी तस्माद् योगी भवार्जुन.
A yogi is superior to the tapasvi, ascetic, superior to the janani, a person of learning, and even superior to the karmi, ritualistic performer. Therefore, O Arjun, strive to be a yogi.
योगिनामपि सर्वेषां मद्गतेनान्तरात्मना श्रद्धावान् भजते यो मां समे युक्ततमो मतः.
Of all yogis, those whose minds are always absorbed in me, and who engage in devotion to me with great faith, them I consider to be the highest of all.
ओम तत्सदिति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासूपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे आत्मसंयमयोगो नाम षष्ठो अध्यायः.
Thus ends the 6th chapter named Yoga of Self-Control in the Upanishad of the Divine Bhagavad-gita. The knowledge of the Absolute, the yogic scripture, and the debate between Arjuna and Lord Krishna.